Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Just here today to share with you some of the books that I'm planning to read in February. January was a fantastic reading month. I finished 15 books. I didn't finish everything that I wanted to read. I had a 20 book TBR. So I read some of the books that were on my TBR, and not all the books that I read were actually books from my planned reading because I went rogue. It's like I feel like I need to reward myself. Every time I read a book off my TBR, then I have to go read something else that just the mood caught me. So a lot of the books that I read in January were not actually from my TBR. So that was kind of a fail in terms of planning and sticking to a plan. But I still make TBRs because I love them. I love having a reading list, even if I'm not reading according to it. So today I'm going to share with you some books that I want to read, intend to read in February. First book that's on my TBR is What Storm, What Thunder by Miriam J.A. Chansey. And this is the Run Wright Reads book club pick for February. We were going to go with a book by a Haitian author, but the book club members wanted to read this. Two of the members have already read it and wanted us to discuss it as soon as possible. So we flipped the script a little bit. We pushed this one up in our priority list. So we're reading this book in February. And I'm pretty excited because I bought it in December, thought about reading it in January, and I decided to just kind of pace myself. So What Storm, What Thunder is the first book on my TBR. I'm reading that with the book club members. I participate in a few buddy reads. One of the groups, I'm going to be reading Harlem Shuffle by Colson Whitehead with that group. And we hesitated in choosing this book or deciding that we're going to read this book together because two of the members of the buddy reading group are participating as judges in the BookTube prize. And we weren't sure whether or not this book would be assigned to us, in which case we couldn't discuss it with anyone. So neither of us are reading this as an assignment for the BookTube prize, so we're reading it for fun. It's been on my TBR for a few months now. I bought this at Book of the Month Club, and I've been wanting to read it ever since, just haven't gotten around to it. So looking forward to that in February. It is Black History Month. I'm trying to prioritize my books by Black authors. Another buddy read that I'm participating in, Kay and I are going to be reading Black Boy by Richard Wright. This is my husband's copy, so I probably wouldn't buy this copy now, just because it's smaller. Like, I like big books. I don't know. I love this cover, but I don't know. I love the cover. I hope I love the text, because mass market paperbacks are not necessarily my jam. I did just recently buy a mass market paperback, a copy of Shakespeare's King Lear. So it's not that I avoid mass market paperbacks. I just probably wouldn't go out and buy this one. But yeah, reading Black Boy by Richard Wright and actually really looking forward to it because this is a classic or a modern classic. And I've been wanting to read it forever, and now I'm finally picking it up. Another buddy read I'm participating in February, Patrice Jones and I are reading the Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man by James Waldon Johnson, and highly anticipate reading and discussing this one. Patrice is a fantastic buddy reader. She goes through and makes like really thoughtful notes. And when we have our discussions, it's just a joy to share thoughts with her. So looking forward to reading this one with Patrice, and I'll tell you guys about it. Aside from that, let me see. I think those are the only buddy reads that I'm participating in. At least that's what I can think of right now. But I do have other reading commitments. I'm judging Group A in the fiction round of the BookTube prize, so I need to read these 6 books in the next 2 months. I want to say that I'll read the first 3 in February, so I'm adding The Revival of Opal and Nev by Donnie Walton, Hell of a Book by Jason Mott, and Detransition Baby by Tori Peters to my February TBR as well. So I'm going to share with you some of the books that I have from publishers, books that I should have read before they were on my TBR and didn't get to them, but Black History Month, I need to read them. So 400 Souls by Ibram X. Kendi and Keisha N. Blaine, editors and contributions by other authors. I will have to read this one this year. Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by Andre Lewis Carter. This was a gift from Akashic Books, and this was published in January. I really wanted to read and review it in January. Didn't get to it, so I'm going to try to prioritize that as well. The Other Mrs. Galway by Deidre Sinnott. This was a gift from Akashic Books as well. I should have read that a long time ago, and I didn't get to it. So also prioritizing A Tall History of Sugar by Cordella Forbes. Some other books by Black authors that I want to read in February include Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This is a new release. This was a gift from Penguin Random House Publishers, and they sent this to me. I requested it a few months ago. I think I requested it when it was still in the ARC phase, and it took a while to get to me, so they sent me the finished copy, which I'm really excited about. It is a Read with Jenna book club pick, and I don't necessarily participate in this book club, but a couple of books that I have read that were book club picks, I've enjoyed. So I'm hoping that this is also a really great read. The author is an American who has lived in Jamaica for some time. She's now based in Italy, and this is a debut novel, so I'm hoping that it's great, but I feel like it's going to be. Aside from that, other books by Black authors that I just want to read because it's been a while. I want to add a book of poetry, so I'm going to look for a Nikki Giovanni book. I don't know which one yet. I want to read a Toni Morrison book because it's Black History Month. I feel like you should always have a Toni Morrison book on your Black History Month TBR. So I'm going to read Song of Solomon, which I don't yet have. I think it's one of her most popular books, so I want to read that one because I haven't yet read it, and it's one of my intentions to read all of Toni Morrison's novels, so this would be a good time to just add another one of her books to that list. Aside from that, I want to read a James Baldwin book because it's Black History Month. You should always read some James Baldwin, right? So I am going to read If Beale Street Could Talk. Is that the title? The Beale Street novel. I downloaded that from my library, so I'm going to be reading that this month as well. And The Street by Ann Petrie. Ann Petrie's novel was the first book by a Black woman in the United States that sold, I forget now the milestone, was it 1 million copies? It was the first book by a Black author, a Black woman, that did so well commercially. So it's a classic or a modern classic, I'm not sure, but it's a book that a lot of people have read, and I haven't read it, so I want to remedy that this month. The Souls of Black Folk by W.E.B. Du Bois. I have thumbed through this book. I don't think I've read the whole thing, but I'm planning to read it this month. I also have The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo on my TBR. That is for a reading challenge that I'm doing, and I don't necessarily have to read it this month, but I have it on there. What's that? You want to come say hi? Come say hi. Come say hi. It's your friends. Come. Oh! Hi. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Say, I'm watching videos and playing with the markers. You writing? What are you writing? ABC?
ABC.
Okay, go write your ABC. Mommy loves you. ABC. Write mommy a letter. The rest of my TBR is focused on books that I've gotten from publishers. I want to read and review them. So that includes The Artist Colony by Joanna Fitzpatrick, which was on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it. And a few books that just came in recently. The Doorman by Peter M. Wheelwright. And Say All the Unspoken Things, a book of letters by John Sowers. And Joan is Okay by Wiki Wang. And I received this recently, but I'm really excited about this one because I loved her novel Chemistry, and I'm going to be participating in the publisher's book club at the end of the month, so I'm going to be reading this one in February as well. So yeah, those are the books that are on my TBR. Aside from that, I may just add books from my shelf, from my TBR shelf. This shelf right here is the TBR that I'm working on this year, Classics and Backlist, that I shared at the beginning of the year. So if I add to this list, hopefully it will be books from here. So I'm whittling down that TBR, even if I'm not necessarily whittling down this month's TBR. And the last book on my TBR, I just need to finish because I've started it already. All That She Carried by Tia Miles. I was kind of hanging on to this because I guess I want to read some of it in February for Black History Month because it is like the perfect read for Black History Month. And I was also wondering if it was going to be assigned to me for BookTube Prize, but I'm reading fiction this month. So I started this. I've read some of it. I just need to finish it up in February, so it's not completely on my TBR, but yeah, I guess it is because I still have to read a lot of it. So that is where we are with the TBR. Would love to chat with you in the comments down below. Let me know what's on your anticipated reading list for February. What's the book that you're prioritizing more than any other? If there's one book that you finished this month, what is it going to be? And so, yeah, let's chat in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll be back soon with another video, and I hope you'll come back for it. So until then, happy reading. Bye. Other books that I want to read just for Black History Month. The love songs. No.